A solo homer by Michael has started the scoring in both games. He homered in the third inning on Monday night and, again, led off last night's game against Paul Skeens with a home run. He leads off today. The first pitch by Johan Oviedo is in there for a strike, and away we go. Bush hitting .259 with 29 home runs. He's driven in 80. Oviedo coming back. This ball is in there for a strike, 0-2. 76 degrees here in Steel Town. Game Time Temp sponsored by Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Your trusted local experts, Four Seasons. Now the 0-2 pitch from the right-hander Oviedo. And Bush will take high. Ron, I know you always do your scouting report on the opposing pitcher. What's the plan against Oviedo?
Well, first and foremost, he's coming back from injury, but his arm is fine. He is throwing bullets. He's in the mid to high 90s.
Here's a drive deep and foul to right, out of play, Ron.
To me, the one thing that's very unique about him this season is the way he pitches and the sequences he throws. He really pitches backwards, so when he gets ahead in the count, there's more hard stuff and fastballs. When he's behind in the count, let's say 2-0, 3-1, 3-0, more breaking stuff.
1-2 pitch is high to Michael Bush, 2-2.
That used to be, the crafty lefty we used to talk who would pitch backwards. This guy's a power pitcher, but pitches backwards. Very unique.
It's 2-2 on the leadoff man, Michael Bush. The next pitch missing inside, 3-2.
So I think we're seeing a little bit of the situation where some guys try to throw their fastball so hard that they really have better command with the little tight slider than they do their fastball.
Here comes the payoff pitch to Michael Bush. Pulled foul into the Cubs' first base dugout. That scattered a few guys.
Bushy, don't hit it in their dugout. We're playoff bound. Try the other side.
Guys just kind of enjoying their morning coffee over there. Yeah. Hey!
Not anymore.
Here comes the 3-2 to Bush. Poke foul out of play. Michael has really, I think, settled into that leadoff spot run. I like the way, for example, in this at-bat, he is spoiling some good pitches.
Yeah, Michael's just having a great year, and he's, closing in on 30, and he's got 80 RBIs already.
He takes high, ball 4, a quality plate appearance by Michael Bush. Not only does he get the walk, but he forced Oviedo to make about 7 or 8 pitches.
Yeah, just great at bat. As you brought up yesterday, he hit a ball almost out of the stadium to start the game. He's just, Michael Bush is turning himself into an all-star caliber player with his consistency, and the numbers are proving out.
Boy, I'll go along with that statement, Ron. Here's Nico Horner with an 11-game hitting streak. Look out! Nico takes over the head, and that ball goes all the way back to the screen.
Nico not real happy about that. That was right over his helmet to the backstop. Now Cubs dugout chirping at him. Chirping at Oviedo. Yeah, they didn't like that. I don't blame him. That was right over the helmet.
Nico 4 for 9 in this series. He sits safely in 11 consecutive games. The wild pitch puts Bush at second with nobody out. And here's a pitch way outside, the count 2-0. Oviedo used to be with the Cardinals. Horner hitting .301. Second in the league in hitting. Trey Turner at .305 for the Phillies. Nico could catch him with a hot final couple of weeks here. Here's a pitch in there for a strike, 2-1.
96-mile-an-hour fastball. Nico, after the first one over his head, took the next one. Then that one right down the middle.
Cubs in their traveling uniforms, the dark blue shirts with red numbers on their backs, gray trousers, blue hats and helmets. Johan Oviedo ready for the 2-1. Here's a liner into center, a base hit. Bush had to hold up thinking it might be caught, so he will advance only to third. Clean single for Nico Horner. He's hit safely in 12 consecutive games. Is he ever locked in?
Yeah, that's the breaking ball, 2-1, and Nico, it's a hanger, and he just smokes this ball right back through the middle. Line drive bullet. He hit 3 balls yesterday right on the screws with 3 hits, and now today another one.
Cubs threatening immediately. First and third, nobody out for the Pittsburgh native Ian Happ. Infield stays back, so a ground ball to the middle of the diamond will get a run in regardless. Now the pitch on the way to Ian, and he'll take up and in, ball 1. Happ at 241, 1 for 6 in this series. Beautiful PNC Park. I like the day games here. You've got the Allegheny River out beyond the right center field fence. Here comes the 1-0 from the right-hander, and time called. Is that a balk?
That's a balk.
A balk has been called.
Yeah.
Oviedo acted like he thought time had been called. He's upset about the call. But a run scores a peculiar-looking play. Bush comes in to score the game's first run. Horner goes to second. When's the last time you saw a pitcher stop right in the middle of his motion and have it cost him a balk?
No idea what happened there. As he came set, leg went up, like he was going to deliver the pitch, and then just kind of stopped and put his foot down and never saw time called.
Happ will take inside in the count 2-0. A very shaky start for Johan Oviedo.
And he has been throwing very well. And, I really think since, the pitch that he threw over Nico's head, he has been out of sorts ever since.
Now the 2-0 to Happ, drilled in the air to right field and deep. This ball's got a chance. Gone. Cubs lead 3-0. Ian Happ, a long home run, another hanging breaking ball, it appeared, and the Cubs have jumped out to a 3-0 lead.
And I'll venture to say he's still out of sorts because that breaking ball was right down the middle, center cut, and Ian blasted it. Sometimes when you play a ball club like the Cubs, they're just playing their games, they're not trying to do anything, and then you do something like buzz one of their players over their head. You wake the whole team up. It's 12:30 in the afternoon, and now all of a sudden the whole Cubs dugout is invigorated and ticked off that this is happening. You're like, what are we doing here? And I think they woke the Cubs up here, and the coffee's kicking in because Cubs are up 3-0.
3-0. So Matthew Boyd already with a cushion to lean on before he goes to work. Moises Ballesteros is due up. Oscar Marine, the pitching coach for the Pirates, ran out to see about Oviedo. And the Cubs lead by 3. Nobody out, top of the first. Ballesteros drills one in the air, deep right field. If it's fair, it's gone. It is, and it is. A line drive home run by Ballesteros. His second of his big league career. It left the park in a hurry, and it almost cleared the bleachers in right, and that came close to being an Allegheny drop-down job.
It would have, absolutely. So it hits the fencing behind the last row. There's like a 3-foot fence behind the people sitting in the last row of the bleachers. It hit that fence on the line and bounced back. That was an absolute rocket off the bat of Ballesteros.
His second home run. Cubs lead 4-0. And now Seiya Suzuki will take outside. Suzuki back in the lineup after several days out with an illness.
Hey, talk about waking up the Cubs with one pitch over Nico's head. Thank you.
Suzuki takes inside. He gets hit by the pitch. The more I watch Oviedo run, I think it was unintentional. I think he's just wild with a capital W in the opening inning. He has no command at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I really don't know because of the way he reacted after he threw the pitch. But since then, there's there's been nothing good happen for him since that pitch.
Here is Pete Crow Armstrong stepping in, and Pete looks at a fastball strike. Some guys getting up and limbering already in the Pirate bullpen because Oviedo is very unconvincing right now. 4-0 Cubs, nobody out, first inning. Here's a pitch way outside, and the count 1-1.
He's seen 5 hitters, 4 have scored, 2 home runs, a single, walk, and a hit batter.
He came in with a record of 2-0 and a good ERA of 2.81. Swing and a miss by Pete.
I watched his last start this morning, the highlights of it in his pitching, and he looked very good. He, nothing, the only issue he has had a little bit is, the wildness of just a few more walks than you would like, but big strikeout numbers, and now Cubs have bombed away here in the first inning.
Short lead at first by Suzuki, 1-2 on Pete Crow Armstrong. And the pitch on the way, hit in the air, shallow right. Coming in with a play is York to make the catch, and that's the first out of the inning. So the 6th man to face Oviedo gets retired. 1 away, and here's Dansby Swanson.
RBIs by Cubs batters are sponsored by Old National Bank, where relationships and results matter. Get old.
Gave you the Cubs uniform descriptions. The Pirates in their black shirts, gold numbers, white trousers, black shoes and hats, gold numbers on their backs. Here's a line drive base hit into center by Dansby Swanson. Racing around second and going to third is Suzuki on a sharp single by Swanson. Suzuki ran well after that illness run. He looked good.
Yeah, he really did. That's a key, too. Cubs with Tucker, we don't know when Tucker's going to be back. We need Seiya to be back in that lineup. He did move well. Line drive bullet off the bat of Dansby in the left center field also.
Swanson now 5 for 9 in this series. And here's Reese McGuire, the 8th man to bat in the first inning. Cubs lead 4-0 with only 1 away, runners at first and third. The stretch by Oviedo. And the pitch, curveball in for a strike. Uniform description sponsored by Benjamin Moore. On the field or the walls of your home, the right team and colors make all the difference. Official paint of the Chicago Cubs, Benjamin Moore. Now the 0-1 instead of toss to first on a pickoff try. Swanson diving back in. Matthew Boyd knows that he'll have a nice little cushion to lean on before he throws his first pitch. Here comes the 0-1, swinging a smash to second, fielded by Gonzalez on one hop, and it turns into a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. But the Cubs score 4 home runs by Happ and Ballesteros. We go to the bottom of the first. Cubs 4, Pirates coming up. 13-game winner for the Cubs fires outside for a ball. Boyd 13-8. His ERA just over 3.05. Having a fine season. Here's the 1-0. In for a strike. Ron, as you think about Boyd facing these Buccos, what's the most important thing?
I think his command today. You got a very young lineup, other than just a couple guys in the middle that have been around the league for quite some time.
Foul ball off to the right.
But Matthew, he just knows how to pitch and let the young hitters use their aggressiveness against him, and he can pitch, at the edges of the strike zone with very good stuff. And if he has command today, he should have a very good day.
Pirates have shown a weak offense in the first 2 games. Here's a ball outside. Their grand totals for 2 full games, 1 run and 7 hits. They lost the opener 4-0, had only 3 hits, and last night a 4-1 Cubs win. Fly ball shallow left, should be routine for Happ, rushing in to make the grab, and that's out number 1. Cubs lead 4-0, and the batter is Nick Gonzalez.
Good pitch by Boyle, 78-mile-an-hour changeup after a 95-mile-an-hour heater. Speed Gun brought to you by Xfinity. Your home field advantage brought to you by Xfinity. All your favorite teams in one place.
Boyd will go to work now on Nick Gonzalez. The right-handed batting second baseman will take a strike. Michael Busch, the Cubs' leadoff man, drew the walk, and that ignited the rally. Here's another strike in there, and the count is 0-2. Cubs' leadoff man presented by Benny's Beverage Depot. If Busch would have gotten a base hit instead of the walk, Benny's Beverage Depot would donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. If you can't find it at Benny's, it's probably not worth drinking. Now the 0-2. Fly ball, right center. Long run for Suzuki near the track, makes the catch. And we talked about Suzuki running the bases well. He glided after that ball nicely. He looks like he's healthy, Ron.
Yeah, he does, for sure. That ball, and that's that spot you were talking about yesterday here in this ballpark.
Yeah.
That right center field area where the bleachers are very high and straight right, and then they come down a good 15, 20 feet, and it's open going out to the Allegheny River. The ball really carries in that spot, and that's right where Suzuki caught that ball.
Tommy Pham will take outside.
First inning is powered by Invesco QQQ. Let's rethink possibility. Invesco Distributors Incorporated.
Here comes the 1-0 pitch on the way to Matthew Boyd. It's a little bit inside for a ball. Whenever we discuss a particular defensive alignment against a Cub batter, that is brought to you by Fitzgerald Equipment. Material handling handled. Learn more at FitzgeraldEquipment.com. Fastball inside, 3-0.
Boyd has missed with these 3 pitches, and I don't think there's combined an inch of how much he's missed the strike zone.
Pham will take a strike. Matthew has done a good job keeping the Cubs in virtually every one of his starts this year. Here's the 3-1. Changeup is low and in, ball 4. First base runner for the Pirates. Ron, and the batter is Andrew McCutcheon.
Yeah, having breakfast this morning here in Pittsburgh, and because of the time of the year, the scouts that are still remaining in our game are here, scouting the Cubs, scouting the Pirates, different teams doing different things, but the talk was about some of the pitchers that have maintained or teams have picked up. Matthew Boyd is one of those examples of a guy that was a free agent, and man, has that been a good pickup for the Chicago Cubs. He has been phenomenal for the Cubs.
Boyd has pitched just about as well as any National League pitcher, and I certainly think he should get some Cy Young votes.
14 wins, or 13 wins, his chance at 14 today.
There's a strike to McCutcheon.
I think his ERA right at 3 going into today's ball game.
3.05, yeah. Pham at first, 2 down. McCutcheon with a count of 1-1. Guarding the line deep at third is Matt Shaw. Here's a pickoff throw, not in time. I love his pickoff move. He's looking at the plate, and then he just kind of steps toward first and stuns a lot of base runners.
Yeah, I don't think the opposing teams like his pickoff move, but I know if you're a Cub fan, you do.
Here's the next offering. It's in there for a strike. Boyd has been the league leader in picking guys off just about all season long. He's picked 10 guys off of base. That's a lot for 1 year. The next offering, soft line drive to over a leaping Swanson at short. It's going to be a base hit for McCutcheon. He got jammed, didn't hit it very well. A little looping line drive. Dansby could have either run straight back or waited and leaped. He tried the latter and just couldn't quite jump tall enough, and it's a single. Stopping at second is Pham. 2 on for Joey Bart.
Yeah, when that ball's hit right at you as an infielder on the line, you kind of freeze instantly, and you hold your ground, and you're trying to read how hard the ball was hit. And sometimes that's difficult. Dansby gave it a good leap, but it just got over his glove as he jumped as high as he could.
Cubs hit a couple of home runs in the top of the inning, one by Ian Happ, the other by Moises Ballesteros. Each one a hefty home run. Hefty is the official trash bag of the Chicago Cubs. Fly ball to deep center. Back goes Carl Armstrong to the center field fence. That's a 3-run homer. Joey Bart with a home run to dead center. And just like that, the Pirates are back in the game. It's 4-3 in a wild first inning.
Now, both of these guys have been pitching well. Oviedo just coming back from injury, but, he's had some starts, and they have gone well. Boyd has pitched great all year. And, of course, it's 4-3 first inning.
Ball is carrying today. That was straight over the 399 sign in dead center. And here is former Cub Alexander Canario stepping in. Swinging and missing for Joey Bart, his 3rd home run. And he now has 26 runs batted in. And the Cubs' lead is 4-3. Here's the 0-1. A looper into shallow left. Happ coming in. That's a base hit. Canario a bloop single into left. I guess, Ron, we should have known better. The day when you're going to try to clinch a playoff spot, you don't expect an easy game.
No.
Right?
No. And it's turning out that it's not going to be the case. It's a high fastball up and in to Canario in the strike zone, and he just got the head of the bat to it and drops one in the left field in front of Ian.
Tommy Hottovy out to see Canario at first. Nick York is due up. Mel Check, our engineer, says let's take an ID. 10 seconds for ID on the Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Cubs talk on
And we were enjoying some of the music. The old rock and roll song "Hungry Like the Wolf" came on, and you should have seen Mel. He was rocking to that.
Oh, really?
One. Oh, he
nice.
loved that song. Yeah. Duran Duran.
Very nice, Mel. Breaking it on down. I like it.
Here comes the 1-0 pitch now to Nick York. And it's in there for a strike.
Was he giving you any howls? Would he give you a howl?
He was asking me, is Duran Duran, are they from Walla Walla, Washington? I couldn't answer that.
Yeah, gotcha.
Here comes the 1-1 from Boyd. And it's taken inside for a ball.
You know they're from Birmingham in England. Come on, Pat.
Or Pago, maybe. Now the 2-1 to York. Line drive, left center. That's going to be a base hit. Cor Armstrong gloves it on a hop, and he'll throw to second base wisely. And the Pirates putting together by far their most impressive rally of the entire series here in the first inning. With 2 outs, they've had 5 consecutive batters reach. The big blow, a 3-run homer by Bart. And now the Cubs' lead is precarious because they're men at first and
fucking 4 straight hits for Pittsburgh. All is coming with 2 outs in the inning.
Flores in his big league debut. Does that bring back memories, Ron, for
absolutely.
your big league debut? Were your knees shaking a little bit batting in first time?
You absolutely correct.
Hard to get those deep breaths.
Yeah.
Now the pitch by Matthew Boyd. It's swung on and fouled back by Rafael Flores.
Yeah, these are dangerous at-bats for a veteran pitcher with a kid that's his adrenaline is going so fast you can't really throw the ball past him. You know, you're gonna get to the fastball. Now you might swing at a ball that bounces, but you're gonna be swinging.
Here's the fastball inside. I'd be tempted to throw pitches out of the strike zone, right? And he's going to be anxious. He's going to be nervous. He might just swing at anything.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If I saw white, I was swinging my first hit, man. That's the way it was.
Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Good change. What's on your mind on 1 and 2?
Same thing. I'd keep throwing something off speed and let Flores stay way out in front.
Boyd got the first 2, then he walked Pham. McCutcheon singled. Joey Bart hit a 3-run homer. And now base hits by both Canario and York have put men at first and third. 2 outs, Cubs lead 4-3 in a very eventful first inning. And the pitch to Flores. Popped up foul and out of play. That was up around the shoulders. Smallish crowd here, but there are some Cub fans. I'm pretty sure some of these fans have taken in the full 3 games. And many of them sitting right behind the Cubs' first base dugout. Great to have them here. The 1-2 to Flores is low, 2-2.
You and I walked home from the hotel yesterday, and we saw some friends that are here and some... Like the majority of the people that were walking home or walking around the ballpark were Cub fans yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them saying Pat Hughes.
Well, some. Here's a pitch outside. And the count 2-2 on Rafael Flores. We walked home. There was a street music gang with microphones putting on a show. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Flores strikes out in his first major league at-bat, and some cruel fan is booing him already. Welcome to the big leagues. Pirates score 3. We go to inning number 2.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast on the radio since 19...
going into this inning.
Would it
Just
have
a
been by
guess.
Duran?
Ow.
Hungry like the wolf. That's about 1982 vintage.
Yeah.
Matt Shaw will take inside, and the count now is 3 balls and no strikes. Here's an oddity. Each team in the second inning will have their number 9 man leading off.
Yeah.
You don't see that very often. As Shaw will take a strike. Michael Busch on deck, and then Nico Horner. And the 3-1. Fastball is in for a call, strike 2. Cubs and Pirates, they've been battling since 1887. In fact, it is one of the oldest rivalries between big league teams in all of the majors. Pop-up foul out of play. I know for a fact these two teams have played more games against one another than any other two major league teams. Cubs lately have had the better of it, winning 10 straight season series against the Buccos, including this year. They are 9-3 against the men from Steel Town. Here comes the 3-2 pitch now to Matt Shaw. Inside, he walked him. Kind of get the feeling we might see some bullpen guys in today's game.
I would think so. Don't get too comfortable down there, guys. Yeah, and both pitchers had their struggles and gave up some hits and some walks. First inning, and now Bushy comes to the plate in the second. That last fastball missed by quite a bit to Shaw inside.
Bush had a base on balls and scored the game's first run. Michael will take high for a ball. We've talked a lot about Michael's power numbers. They're very impressive. 29 homers, 80 driven in. Here comes the 1-0 pitch now from Oviedo. Swung on and fouled back. But I think just as impressive as those run, just the overall leadoff at-bats and plate appearances that he's had. Drawing walks, making the other pitcher work, letting his teammates in the first inning see the kind of stuff that a pitcher has. He's improved in all of those areas.
All of them, and and the other thing too is just being that leadoff threat right away. You make a mistake and you're going to be down 1-0.
This one is way outside. They count 2-1.
I mean, do you think as we started this season, if you would have said, would you take 260, 29, and 80 at the end of the year? What do you think?
Absolutely,
right?
Yes. With about 3 exclamation points behind it.
And he's got a chance for sure to be 30. And we got today with today's game 11 games left. So, you're looking at, he's going to drive in some more runs in these next 11 games. I certainly hope he hits another home run to get to 30.
Checks his swing and takes down low and in. That's ball 4. He gets his second walk. So back-to-back walks issued by Oviedo. Activity will commence in the Pirate bullpen. Oviedo just really wobbly at the outset of this game. That's the only word I can think of.
Yeah, and I really believe like that the second hitter was Nico Horner, who's up right now, and he threw one right over Nico's head, and since then he has not been the same guy at all. He has been very erratic since then.
Nico ended up getting a base hit. Here's the first pitch to Horner. It's inside for a ball. Walks to Cub batter, sponsored by It's Not a Game, Illinois.com. Remember, a walk is free, a DUI is not. Drive sober or get pulled over. 2 men on, nobody out. Cubs lead 4-3 second inning. There is a strike. I think until the guy shows that he can throw strikes, you might see quite a few guys up there until they take a strike.
Yeah, I would agree. He's been erratic for sure. Yep, so guys are going to let him throw some pitches each at bat.
Nico will take up and in, and the count now 2-1.
But I think for Oviedo is usually the pitch that he gets back in the at bat is the slider. Well, he's been erratic with the slider today. And that's been a problem also.
41 pitches after 1+ inning. Swing and a miss by Nico, and the count 2-2. One of the best pitches he has thrown yet.
Yeah, that's that slider we were just talking about. You know, he gets behind in the count, and he features that little tight slider.
Cubs 5 games behind Milwaukee at the start of the day for the division. Cubs are the number 1 wild card team right now. 5 games over second place San Diego. Nico swings and fouls it back. And as long as you're mathematically alive for the division, that would always be your top priority. But if that's not achievable, that number 1 wild card spot, that's where you want to be. Here comes the 2-2. And Hoerner takes up and in, ball 3-2.
That pitch high and tight to Nico, definitely not intentional, that's for sure.
Oviedo with a red glove, ready for the 3-2 pitch. And here it comes. And Hoerner hits a drive to right. It is playable for York. And that's going to be out number 1. The runners have to hold. Hoerner is out number 1, and the batter Ian Happ.
York's been playing second base in this series and now has moved to right field. That's shows some very good versatility. He looks like a guy that could be sticking around the big leagues for a while. Can add a little offense and has done a job playing different positions.
There is Ian Happ. He drilled a 2-run homer his first time. His 23rd of the year. 72 RBIs for Ian Happ. He takes outside 1-0.
It's a little hometown cooking for Ian.
Mm-hmm.
Playing in his hometown and blasted and almost hit one out of the stadium. That one right at the back of the ballpark here.
Here comes the 1-0. Happ will take a strike. We're headed to Cincinnati after the game. And that's where Happ went to college in Cincinnati. He's always had some big days in that ballpark. Here comes the 1-1 with men at first and second. Way outside and high. Oviedo missing by feet on a lot of different pitches so far.
Yeah, that last pitch, he fell off the mound towards the first base dugout. Arm never caught up. That pitch missed the zone by 3 or 4 feet.
Pirates, a struggling team. They are limping to the finish line. They've lost 11. Make it 10 of their last 11. Swing and a miss by Happ. It's 2-2. He tried to hold up, couldn't do it. Might have chased a pitch away. Shaw away from second, Bush away from first. And Happ hits a little pop fly on the infield. It's going to be caught by Devaney. And the third baseman, with the infield fly rule in effect, makes the catch, and now there are 2 down. And it's up to Moises Ballesteros.
Well, Ballesteros hit a line drive rocket. That was the second of the back-to-back home runs in the first inning. And, I mean, that was an absolute bullet that hit the fence behind the last row of seats here, PNC Park. If it didn't hit that fence, it definitely would have ended up in the Allegheny River.
2 outs, 2 on. Off-speed pitch in there for a strike to Moises Ballesteros. Moises with a homer earlier. He homered last weekend at Wrigley. He's got 2 Major League round trippers now. Here comes the 0-1 from Oviedo. Swinging a miss in the count, 0-2. Ballesteros hitting .306. In fact, he lifted his average up. He's had very few at-bats, so he's up to .324 at the moment. And now the 0-2 pitch from the Pirate right-hander Oviedo. That one's going to be upstairs for a ball. Oviedo has walked 3 and hit a batter and given up a pair of home runs, all in the first inning and 2/3.
Yeah, he's at 53 pitches in the ballgame already.
Here's a swing and a miss, and that ends the inning. Ballesteros strikes out. Cubs don't score. We go to the bottom of inning number 2. Cubs 4, Pirates 3 on the score. And the
Let's see if you can figure out the following base.
for the first. So a lot of action early in the game. Cam Devaney, the batter, and he'll take a swinging strike at the first one. And it is now 0-2 on Devaney, hitting .094. Jared Triolo on deck, and then Nick Gonzalez. Here comes the 0-2 from Boyd. Off-speed pitch, low and away, 1-2. Cubs trying to clinch a playoff spot today, which they will achieve with a win. Breaking ball missing, 2-2. And Ron, for you and I as broadcast partners, we are looking forward to covering postseason ball for the Cubs for the 6th different time.
How about that?
6 out of the 12 years, right?
We've had a pretty good run.
50% for you. That's very good.
Yeah.
Now it's number 10 for me out of 30 years. No complaints here.
Yeah.
And Zach, this is going to be your second postseason experience as a Cubs announcer.
Third.
Like I said, at least your second, maybe even third. That's right, Zach. You were there in 18 and 20. Here's a ground ball into right, a base hit. Cam Devaney with a leadoff single, and the batter Jared Triolo. They were both very short-lived playoff experiences, though, Zach, and maybe that's why I overlooked. Yes, you were here in 2018, the National League wild card game against Colorado, and then the 2020 series against Florida. National League Wild Card Series. The Cubs lost both games. But they're special. And again, going back to a statement I made earlier, no matter how long you've been doing this or how many years you've been a baseball fan, when your team makes the playoffs, that never, ever gets old or stale in any way. It's always special.
Absolutely great. There's no doubt about it. 50%, yeah. If we kept that up for as long as we keep broadcast, that wouldn't bother me one bit. I can promise you that.
But I think about all the other great announcers that preceded us, Ron. Here's a swing and a line drive, base hit to center. Triolo with a single, runners at first and second now. Nobody out, second inning. Cubs lead 4-3, and the batter is Nick Gonzalez. But I was thinking about guys like Jack Brickhouse, and Vince Lloyd, and Lou Boudreau, and Harry Carey. Now, Harry saw a couple of postseason series for the Cubs, but not nearly as many as you would have liked to have seen, or he would have liked to have seen.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up listening to Jack Brickhouse and Vince Lloyd and Lou Boudreau. I mean,
and a hit by pitch now. Gonzalez gets hit by the pitch. He didn't look like he made any dramatic effort to avoid being hit by that pitch. It was a low inside breaking ball. I'm not sure where it got him, maybe in the foot. Bags are loaded with nobody out.
It's one of those games today. This is a little slider by Boyd, and it just keeps pouring in and just barely catches right above the knee of Gonzalez. Just grazes him. And it was a hit by pitch.
So they're loaded with nobody out for Tommy Pham, and he pops it up. Infield fly rule in effect. Dansby Swanson will make the catch, and that's out number one. One away, Andrew McCutchen coming up.
Pham tried to get on that first breaking ball, a little backdoor hook, and kind of runs out of bat and just pops it straight up. Right now, you make a good pitch. McCutchen will hit the ball. He likes to try to hook the ball, but he can roll over this ground ball. He's a double play candidate. That's for sure.
Infield back for the Cubs. Cubs lead by a run. Bases loaded for the Pirates. Second inning. First pitch, ball one.
Pitch right at the top of the zone. Definite strike. Did not get the call from Charlie Ramos. Ramos strikes him very tight today.
Here's the 1-0. And that's going to be ball two.
Wow, that could be 0-2 instead of 2-0. Both of those pitches were in the strike zone of the monitor that we have in our booth. The last one, very borderline.
McCutchen hitting in the 230s. And the pitch to McCutchen, swing and a miss. You always wonder about a guy like McCutchen. He's getting up there in age. Will this be his final major league season? There's been speculation for a couple of years about that.
13 homers, 55 driven in, hitting 241 right now. He's got 108 hits, but yeah, he's been a guy in this league for a long time. MVP.
2-1 from Boyd to McCutchen. Down low, and now it's 3-1. So a very big pitch in this game coming up right now. We'll make our picks in the Benny's Beverage Depot attendance game here soon. If you can't find it at Benny's, it's probably not worth drinking. Activity is going to commence in the Cub bullpen in the second inning of this game. Surprising. And now the 3-1 to McCutchen. Swing and a miss. What are you thinking on 3-2, Ron?
You get a couple choices. You either go with the high fastball that you just threw to McCutchen in hopes that if he's on it, he pops it up or swings through it. Or you go at the change and see if you can get him out in front and hopefully roll over a ground ball.
The payoff. Outside, he walked him. That forces in a run. The game is now tied 4-4. And Joey Bart is due up. And Tommy Hotovy will make a trip to the mound. A very unlike Matthew Boyd performance so far. This is something we've just not seen much of. Him struggling like this, Ron, especially with the command.
Yep, he's been right around even the very first inning when he had some issues. You know, he was right at the edges of the strike zone. You know, there's been a few pitches could have been called strikes. But, you know, in defense of Charlie Ramos, they've been very close, very borderline. And his zone has been consistent, but it's been a little on the tighter side. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, that last pitch, you know, that one missed up and away. That was not close.
Joey Bart to bat. Cubs will keep the infield back. Ball game tied at 4. Bottom of inning number 2. Bart drilled a 3-run homer to center in the first inning. Bases loaded with one away, and the pitch fouled away. Good fastball in on his hands.
I would think part of the reason, too, I mean, obviously, Matthew has had his struggles here first 2 innings, but the last thing you want to do if you're Craig Counsell is leave Boyd out there and just have his struggles. You know, you just as soon get him out of there and you know, him get ready for his next start.
Chopper foul by Bart. 0-2, and as you say that, Ron, somebody is throwing in the Cub bullpen.
Yeah, you're getting to that point of the season where you want guys to be going the right direction. If it's not working out, you know, he's a key guy in the Cubs rotation, so you'd want to get him out of there probably and get someone else in there.
Here comes the 0-2 now to Bart. A little bit high for a ball.
It's like
52 pitches after an inning and a third from Matthew Boyd. Wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it.
Yeah, I would agree to that. Porter Hodge throwing in the Cubs bullpen.
Let's see if he can get a strikeout right here, or better yet, a double play ball. Tie game, bases loaded. One away, second inning. The pitch to Bart. Inside, it's 2-2. Well, the Pirates were due. They did next to nothing in the entire first 2 games. Jamison Tyone and Cade Horton stymied them. Pirates managed a grand total of 1 run and 7 hits in the first 2 games. Both Cubs wins. And now the stretch for the 2-2 with the bags loaded. It's on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Off-speed pitch got him. And let's see if that one turns the afternoon around for Matthew Boyd.
Little backdoor hook. It starts out away, comes back towards the outer third. Bart, little out in front, and just kind of pulls off this last pitch.
Canario, the batter, the former Cub, single to left his first time. He takes a strike. I'll go ahead and start the guesses in the Benny's Beverage Depot attendance game. I'll say 13,131. 13131. That might be a little heavy. Runners lead at all 3 stations. Boyd to Canario. The pitch popped up, right side, foul. Over near the dugout is Bush. Does he have a play? No, it's just in the Cubs' first base dugout. But now the count is 0-2. What's on your mind here?
I think with Canario, I would stay with the high fastball. I'd throw something up out of the zone. See if you can get him to chase it. I will say 12,000 on the button.
Boyd with a brand new ball comes set. Runners take their leads at all three stations, and the pitch outside 1-2.
I'll go 11,000.
Would that be flat?
Flat. I mean, I'm hungry as a wolf today, Pat. So
well, who isn't? You're sitting right next to Mel Check.
You be careful next to Mel.
Here comes the 1-2 inside for a ball. Mel's been around for a while. He knew that band when they were named Just Duran.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now the stretch for the 2-2. On the way. Change up low and away. So now Boyd can't afford to nibble much more. Ron, you've got the bags loaded. 2 down and a full count.
Here's that patented two-seam fastball at the top of the zone. See if he can make a good pitch with it.
There go the runners. The pitch, swing and a miss on a changeup, strike 3. Boyd gets out of it. The Pirates end up with 1 run on 1 hit. They Cubs got 4 in the first. Pirates got 3 in the first, 1 in the second. Kind of an unusual start to today's game, but Ron, you just never really know what to expect in this crazy game.
You just really don't.
Seiya Suzuki hits one in the air to left. Going back is Pham. Plenty of room out in deep left center, and Pham makes the catch. 415 feet to deep left center. I think that's the deepest alley in the National League. Although the Giants' right center field in San Francisco is probably in that same area, 415, 410.
A lot of real estate here in left field here at PNC Ballpark, that's for sure.
Pete Crow Armstrong, the batter, with 1 away. Game tied at 4. First pitch taken for a strike. Pete flied to right his first time. 29 home runs, 90 runs batted in. He drives one to deep right field, down the line. That ball is going to hit off the top of the wall. Pete is going to scamper into second with a double. He just missed a home run. And when he does hit his next homer, it'll be his 30th, and he'll be a 30-30 man with 30 homers and steals in the same year. And it'll be only the second Cub ever to do that, joining Sammy Sosa.
I don't know, Pat, if he's hit a home run this season out of the 29 he's hit any harder than that line drive he just hit. That ball was absolutely scorched on a line off the right field wall. You can't hit a ball, if you're Pete, any harder than he just hit that line drive.
He's at second with a two-bagger. Let's see if Swanson can drive in the go-ahead run. Dansby will take ball one. Pete had to really hustle to get two because the right fielder, York, got to the ball fairly quickly. Right-hander to right-hander. The pitch to Swanson, very high.
All challenges in this ball game and reviews, all reviews in this game are sponsored by Northwestern Medicine. Second opinions, always a good idea. Get yours at Northwestern Medicine.
Cincinnati is in St. Louis today. The Reds will fly home and meet up with the Cubs at the Great American Ballpark for the next 4 games. 6:15 p.m. Central Time tomorrow night. And then a bit earlier, 5:40 in the afternoon, both Friday and Saturday. And a 12:40 start on Sunday. And that'll be the last regular season road game for the Cubs for the year. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Cubs are home next week. 3 games against the Mets starting on Tuesday night at Wrigley. And then 3 next weekend starting next Friday against the Cardinals. And the 3-1. And that's going to be a strike, 3-2.
Coming to you live all season long from the Invesco QQQ broadcast booth, proud ETF partner of the Chicago Cubs.
It was a little more dramatic when the Cubs play the Cardinals for the final series of a year. I like that.
Yeah. You and I, we weren't even out of Arizona yet, and we were circling that series, talking about that one. Between them, you play the Mets and then you got St. Louis. You're thinking, oh my.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Swanson is out number 1. Make it out number 2. And the batter, Reese McGuire.
I remember us talking in Mesa and going, think of what this season could be like, rolling down to the final week at home with the Mets and St. Louis. It's like, whew.
And it still may be, with the Mets still very much alive in the National League wild card. Reese McGuire now with an RBI chance. A man at second, 2 down. Game tied at 4. We are in the 3rd. Well, I've mentioned that many times, Ron. I think it would be great for the game if the final 2 weekends would find the Cubs playing the Cardinals both in St. Louis and at Wrigley.
Yep.
Deep fly ball to right center, but playable for York. He'll come in now and make the catch. And that ends the inning. Cubs get a double from Crow Armstrong, but nothing else. Middle of inning number 3. Cubs 4, Pirates 4.
Every game night is a chance to go big with MLB Big Inning.
the lower third of the Pirate order in this third inning. York, Flores, and Devaney. Slow curveball is down low for ball one. Matthew Boyd on the mound, coming back to York. This ball is drilled foul deep to right and back out of play. York had a single to center his first time. And now the 1-1. Swinging a foul back, 1-2. What do you like here, Ron?
I think you got a couple options, for Boyd. His best pitch, I think, so far today, where he's got the most out of it, has been changeup. I think he's had some command issues with his breaking ball a little bit and his fastball. Change has been a pitch to go to.
There is a chopper foul down the third base line.
That was a slider down and in, and they're hooked it. See if he goes at the changeup here away.
And the 1-2 to Nick York. And he fights it off and fouls it off to the right out of play.
Boy, coming here to Pittsburgh for these 3 days, I don't know if we've ever had this nice of weather in Pittsburgh as we've had in these 3 days. It has been absolutely perfect here in Pittsburgh for 3 straight days.
Bouncer past the mound, angling in. Swanson gloving it near second, throws to first in time. York is out 6-3, one away, tie game. Third inning, and now the batter is Rafael Flores.
Now did get to the changeup eventually, and that was perfect pitch, and did get the little rollover ground ball on 2 hops to Swanson for the out.
There's the first pitch on the way to Flores. A curveball floats inside for ball one. And the windup and the 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball is inside. 2-0.
That's a good pitch. That's been the story of the day so far. The borderline pitches have gone against the pitcher, both guys, all game long, and it's just been the way it is.
Swing and a miss, 2-1. Cubs will be in Cincinnati now for the next 4 games. Neither team has announced any starter for any of the 4 games. Low and inside, it's 3-1. Rafael Flores in his major league debut, waiting for the 3-1 pitch from Boyd. And he hits a drive into left center on the run. Pete Crow Armstrong can't get it. That ball bounces up against the fence. And Rafael Flores has his first major league hit. It's a 1-out double here in the third inning.
Second at bat in the big leagues for Flores, and he gets his pitch out over the plate. And he smokes this ball left center. Short hops the fence right in front of the Cubs bullpen. Pete has to go get
from your first major league hit.
I do. I've got the ball and the bat from my first big league hit.
Cam Devaney, the batter. Devaney takes inside. Ball game tied at 4. Bottom of inning number 3. And your first big league hit came against which team?
Cleveland Indians.
First swing and a miss, and the pitcher on the Indians?
Mark Clark.
Oh, yeah, sure. Pitched for the Cubs for a while.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sinker slider.
Yep, that's right.
Illinois native.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Here comes the 1-1 to Devaney. A swing and a miss, and the count now 1-2. Mark, a very likable guy. I think he lives in the downstate area somewhere, in the central part of Illinois.
Right.
I believe he has a farm, if I'm not mistaken. He used to talk about being out on his ranch and taking care of the farm. Here comes the 1-2 now to Cam Devaney. Swinging a foul back out of play. But Clark had a pretty good career. He had a great sinker. He would get a lot of double play balls on that ground ball, on that sinking fastball.
Yeah, he could throw it. There's no doubt. Sinker, slider guy.
First hit go.
Ground ball between short and third. Yeah, exactly what you're talking about.
Sinker?
Sinker, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
1-2 on Cam Devaney. Boyd glances back at the runner Flores and delivers. And that's going to be high for a ball. This has been one of the most challenging days for Boyd in terms of throwing strikes. He just does not have his typical command today. Just one of those days. The 2-2 is outside. He's just not quite as sharp.
Yeah, the strike zone's been very tight today. That's part of it. Charlie Ramos' zone has been tight for everybody. And then you key that also with, not having your best command, and that's, it's been a little bit of an issue.
Devaney swings and misses on a good slow curveball, and that's out number 2. Strikeouts by Cubs pitchers. Brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. 2 down, a man at second. Ball game tied at 4. We are in the third. And the leadoff batter, Jared Triolo, steps in.
Triolo 1 for 2 in the ball game. Flew out the left to start the ball game for Pittsburgh, and then singled in his last at bat.
Now, was your first hit in Cleveland or in Minnesota?
Cleveland.
In Cleveland.
Jacobs Field.
Sure. Here's the 1-0 to Triolo. It's a changeup down low, and the count 2-0.
You know how you get the contrast of, so the night before the trade deadline, the 31st of August, I was playing, or 31st of July, I was playing in Tacoma, Washington.
Sure.
Cold, rainy, bad night. Nobody at the ballpark.
Swing and a miss. 2-1.
Maybe 1,000 people. 50. Had a rain delay. The whole thing. Cold, damp. The next day, you get traded during the game, so I get taken out of the game. The next day, you're playing at Jacobs Field. They're in first place in front of 40,000 sellout. They were selling out every night in Cleveland.
Oh yeah, they were a very popular team and a very strong team for several years with that lineup they had. My goodness.
Yeah, they were a really good team.
Albert Bell and Jim Thome and Manny Ramirez.
Sandy Alomar caught. Robbie Alomar.
Oh, yeah, they were dynamite. Strike 3 called, and the inning is over. Boyd gives up a 1-out double to Flores and nothing else. We move to the 4th. Cubs 4, Pirates 4. On the Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
The Cubs play here with Hall of Famer Pat Hughes. And
Let's see if you can figure out the following.
Throws out Shaw. Shaw hit this ball sharply. Kind of a one-hop in between hop at third and then a reverse pivot and a strike across the diamond to get Shaw for the first out. One of those things that it's just neither guy really had great command. They left some pitches in the middle, and the offenses took advantage. So it's one out here in the fourth now. Bushy at the plate. Michael Busch has walked twice in the ballgame. He's already had 2 at-bats. This top of the fourth, he just fouls this one off his right foot, and he is waiting here a little bit, and Frangella is going to jog out with Craig Counsell. Talk to Bushy. Give him a little time to try to get a little feeling in his foot. It's been one of them ball games today. Let's take 10 seconds. Stations to ID themselves. You're listening to The Score in the Southwest Airlines Cubs radio network.
Covering the Cubs and all of Chicago's teams on the Spiegel and Holmes Show. Afternoons 2 to 6 on the...
One strikes the count to Michael Busch here in the fourth, 4-4 ball game. Next pitch from Oviedo. A little backdoor hook in there for strike counts 1-1. Actually 0-2. Might be one of the better sliders he's thrown today. He's thrown quite a few of them. But that backdoor hook was perfect. Gorgeous day here in Pittsburgh. Can't really get much nicer than it is as Bushy checks swing and that pitch is high. Just one of the more scenic ballparks or stadiums you will come to. The Clemente Bridge right out over the center field wall and the downtown skyline right in behind. Beautiful scenery here in Pittsburgh. 1-2 from Oviedo. Breaking ball in for a strike. Bushy over the top of it. Be the first out here in the fourth inning. We'll bring up Nico Horner. Nico, first at bat, he singled after getting fastball thrown right over his head to the backstop, but then he hit the next slider into center field for a base hit, eventually scored on a 2-run homer by Ian Happ. Be Horner, Happ, and then Ballesteros here in this fourth inning. All 3 of those guys scored in the first as Nico takes first pitch high for a ball. Oviedo, very good arm. He has been hurt. He had Tommy John, had some back issues, and has come back, made a few starts for Pittsburgh. Is this pitch in for a strike, little slider? And he's been one of those guys, he's always had a great arm. He's making a comeback. He's thrown the ball very well for Pittsburgh since coming back. He's had mid-2s ERA in a few starts. As Nico hits a little one-hopper, bobbled at third, throw to first. Not in time. Nico beats the throw. As Delaney comes in, Delaney fields this ball kind of awkwardly backhand side, and it hits the heel of his glove. He retreats, picks it up, fires across, and they are not going to challenge this as it's very close at first, but Nico beats this out, so it'll be an error 5 on Devaney at third. And they'll bring up Ian Happ. Ian 1 for 2. Long home run in the first inning. Nico with a very short lead at first base. First pitch to Ian in for a strike. Seems like Oviedo, after first few innings of really struggling with command, starting to settle into this ballgame, but his pitch count very high. He's at 76 pitches in the ballgame. It's Nico's first base with not much of a lead, and Happer just fouls this ball off to the left. Counts 0-2 to Happ. Happer playing in his hometown. Saw him yesterday morning at the coffee shop down the street from our team hotel. Dropped the welcome home on him, and it's always fun for guys to play in their hometown, even if they're not from there. There goes Nico, pitch inside. No throw, stolen base for Horner. Nico with a big jump at first. Kind of lulled Oviedo to sleep a little bit as he wasn't taking much of a lead, then got a running lead and steals second base with 2 outs. Stolen bases by the Cubs. They're powered by Turo Tire, Chicago's hometown tire. Find a dealer at Turo.com. Now the Cubs need a big 2-out hit for me and Hap. Game tied at 4. Next pitch, little ground ball right at the second baseman. That should end the inning, and it does. Little 3-hopper to second base. Gonzalez fields it easily, and Hap is retired. And so are the Cubs here in the top of the 4th inning. Cubs with no runs, 1 base.
All the big hits.
At the wall, gone! No doubt about it. And now Porter Hodge takes over. First pitch missing. Second pitch fouled away by Nick Gonzalez. Gonzalez has flied to the warning track in right and been hit by a pitch. Bright and sunny and beautiful. 76 degrees in Pittsburgh. Next offering fouled away.
4th inning sponsored by Wintrust, home of the exclusive Cubs debit card. Member FDIC, EHL lender.
Now the 1-2. Fastball is inside.
Good to get Porter Hodge back in the ball game. He had a little bit of a struggle in game 1 of this series.
Base hit up the middle. And Nick Gonzalez has the leadoff base hit here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And the batter, Tommy Pham.
I think in his last, 11 games or so for Porter Hodge, it'd be important to get him really on track and pitching well. Cubs veteran pitching out of the pen has been very good. But this guy, one of those guys with a big arm, you'd really like to see him get on a roll going into October baseball.
Pham takes inside. Pham has walked and popped out. Pham, nothing for 5 in the series. The right-handed batter lines one to center. It's going to be playable for Crow Armstrong, and that's out number 1. Gonzalez retreats to first. Hard hit ball, but straight to the center fielder. 1 away. Here's McCutcheon.
Pham walking back to the dugout. He just does not look like he's having a lot of fun right now. He had an at-bat. His last at-bat, he had first and third and nobody out and popped one up in the infield. Now he scalds one to center, and it's right at Pete.
McCutcheon takes high for a ball.
This game can drive you crazy. I'll tell you that. If you're a hitter, it can. I'm watching him. I'm thinking, I've been there. I've done that walk back to the dugout. Just going, man.
Now the 1-0, a swing and a miss. I think it always gets difficult for teams that are going nowhere to compete and to just have the right attitude in the final month or month and a half, whatever it is, Ron. I know it's a profession and you're being paid very well to do your job. 2 balls and a strike on McCutcheon.
Yeah, there's a psychology to it. I really believe, if you're in this situation like the Pirates.
Swinging a foul back out of play.
In the early part of my big league career, in Minnesota, we were a rebuilding franchise after 2 World Series champs in 87 and 91. And by 95, they basically just about let go of almost all of the World Series players, except for maybe a couple. And, you're rebuilding. So I just remember, you get down here into, late August, or especially September. Tom Kelly used to really make it about trying to challenge these teams that were coming in, and this was your playoff.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. McCutcheon is out, number 2. Porter Hodge gets the strikeout, and the batter is Joey Bart. So he would say, this is your playoff for this year.
Yeah, he never verbally came out and said that, but boy, you could see his energy. You'd play a playoff team, like if we went into Cleveland or you went into New York or Boston, somewhere where they were going to postseason baseball. He had unbelievable energy as you were getting to the ballpark to make sure that everybody, coaches, players, everybody's energy was like, this is very important that we give them the best we got today. And that really stuck with me, I'll tell you. And, and then as you progress your big league career, you realize that's just the way to play. That's part of the program day in and day out.
And hearing something like that, now you understand how Tom Kelly led the Twins to 2 different World Series titles.
Absolutely. Most of those guys that won the World Series 2 different years came up with him through the minor leagues, and they all kind of got to the big leagues together somewhat. And he was 2 for 2. 2 World Series campaigns, 2 World Series victories.
Joey Bart waiting for Porter Hodge. A runner at first, 2 down. We're in the 4th inning. Ball game tied at 4. Cubs got 4 in the top of the first. Ian Happ with a 2-run homer. Moises Ballesteros with a solo home run. Cubs also would get a run on a wild pitch in the opening frame. Pirates got 3 in the first and 1 in the second. Their big blow, a 3-run homer by Joey Bart in the first inning. Bart batting right now takes a pitch down low. 2-2 on Joey Bart. Short lead at first by Nick Gonzalez. Right-hander to right-hander, the 2-2. Pulled on the ground to third, foul. And we'll do it again. Again, if the Cubs win this game, they are in the postseason. First time since the year 2000. 2020, rather. 2020, they lost the 2 games to Florida. Both games at Wrigley. That was the National League wild card round.
Yeah.
Breaking ball low and away, 3-2 on Joey Bart. Cubs in 2018 were a playoff team. They lost the 1-game tiebreaker to Colorado. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Bart strikes out. Pirates don't score. We go to the 5th inning. Zach joins Ron. The score, Cubs 4, Pirates 4. This is The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
The Cubs play here with Hall of Famer Pat Hughes and All-Star Ron Coomer on the Cubs Radio Network.
First time since 2020. Now the Cubs can also get in today with a loss. That's if later on this afternoon San Francisco beats Arizona. That game in Phoenix, 2:40 start. Justin Verlander and Brandon Pfaadt, the pitching matchup there. So Moises Ballesteros will lead things off here in the Cubs half of the 5th inning. 4-4 game. Johan Oviedo deals and starts off Ballesteros with a slow-moving breaking ball that nips the top of the zone for a strike, 0-1. Ballesteros 1 for 2. He's hitting at .316. Now the pitch. Ballesteros takes strike 2. This time a hard slider that catches the outside edge, thigh high. And Ballesteros in the hole, 0-2. Oviedo is ready. High leg kick and pitch, and Ballesteros fouls it back. Count remains 0-2. The news not great today when it comes to Kyle Tucker. As Oviedo works his motion and deals, Ballesteros looks at a ball up high, 1-2. Craig Counsell announcing that Tucker and a member of the Cubs medical team on their way to Tampa Bay. As Oviedo kicks and delivers, here comes the 1-2. Ballesteros fouls it back off the screen. They're on their way to Tampa Bay so that Tucker can work with the same physical therapy group that he works with during the offseason because the left calf isn't making any progress. And the calendar is winding down. Time's becoming a little bit of an issue with the playoffs around the corner. Here comes the 1-2. That's high and outside to Ballesteros, 2-2. Counsell saying he's optimistic that Tucker will be able to come back and play, but again, time is an issue now, and they'd like to have, in a best-case scenario, Tucker get some regular season playing time before the playoffs begin. Here's the 2-2. Ballesteros pulls one on the ground, Fielded on the edge of the outfield grass by the second baseman Gonzalez. The flip to first in time by Esteros is retired. One away here in the top of the fifth. 4-4 ball game. So Tucker will be away for the rest of the road trip down in Florida. He'll rejoin the Cubs for the final homestand of the regular season next week, and hopefully he'll be able to play.
Well, you'd like to see him play, 3 games, maybe 4, get a couple games in right field before, the playoffs start.
Seiya Suzuki looks at a ball high and inside, 1-0.
You don't know, you just don't know. It's, when he first got hurt, it was day to day, then it was, he's going to be back, and then they put him on the injured list, and now he's, trying a different rehab play. That's not, the direction that you were hoping this thing was going to go, that's for sure.
Suzuki looks at a slider for a strike. 1-1 the count. Oviedo sets at the belt. Now rocks back and deals. Here's the pitch. A breaking ball high. So 2-1.
Coming to you live all season long from the Invesco QQQ broadcast booth, proud ETF partner of the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, the issue with Tucker is when he runs, that's when he feels the pain. So he's been able to hit, but got to be able to run too. Here comes the 2-1. This is popped up in front of us, out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Suzuki.
That's about as close as we've come to getting a ball here, and that's still a $5 cab right away.
It would be a monster foul ball if...
You'd have to flip the field around and have him hit the ball this way to get it up here. Only place higher in the league is Washington.
A ground ball on the right side, fielding to his left. Gonzalez from the outfield makes the throw to first in time to get a hustling Suzuki. Nice play, 2 away.
Gonzalez, a very accomplished defensive player, short and second base. Goes hard to his left, fields this ball, and makes a nice play.
So here comes Pete Crow Armstrong, who's 1 for 2 today, doubled his last time up. PCA hits out of a crouch from the left side. The right-hander Oviedo is ready. Here's the pitch. Up high, misses with a curve. 1-0 the count. Cubs 4, Pirates 4 with 2 down here in the top of the fifth. One of the really positive signs of this series, PCA's resurgence at the plate. Now the 1-0. Crow Armstrong looks at a ball off the outside.
Well, I think it's right there. It's him taking some pitches and making the opposing pitcher throw him strikes. There's nothing wrong with his swing. It's more pitch selection, being a little over aggressive, and some of these veteran pitchers realizing that and not, just kind of throwing them the tantalizing pitch just off the edges of the strike zone until they get ahead and then bounce something or really elevate a fastball.
PCA looks at ball 3 off the outside. Count 3-1, 2 down. Top of the fifth, 4-4 game. It's hard enough when you're not helping the pitchers out, but when you do, you really put yourself in a tough spot.
It's just tough to hit that way. You set your mechanics, your swing up to hit strikes.
And a high fly ball deep down the right field line, hooking way foul out of play.
When you start talking about, well, what's wrong with a guy's swing? Why isn't he hitting? Sometimes it's not the swing. It's not. It's, the pitch selection and what he's doing. He's not allowing the opposing team to throw him hittable pitches, and he's up there swinging away. And I think there have been times where that has been the case for Pete.
The payoff pitch is fouled back off the screen. They'll do it again. I was talking to PCA about this as the Cubs closed out the homestand against the Rays over the weekend. And he kind of said what you said. He just took a lot longer to say it.
Yeah.
That the problem wasn't physical. Here's the 3-2. A broken bat looper down the left field line, foul territory, racing over and making the catch is Devaney for out number 3 in foul territory. Cubs go down in order here in the top of the fifth. Middle 5, 4-4 game. Cubs and Pirates on the score. cut fastball off the outside, and Canario went chasing. So 0-1 the count. Matthew Boyd started. Here comes the 0-1. And this is hit hard to center, but playable for Crow Armstrong, who comes in and makes the catch. One away. The first out is sponsored by Xfinity, your home field advantage, brought to you by Xfinity.
And all opponents' pitching changes are sponsored by Sloan, official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs. Leader in smart water and commercial restroom solutions. Visit sloan.com. We look forward to seeing the Allen brothers, Peggy, and everybody. You know, it's just a matter of time before we clinch, and they're going to be fired up for playoff baseball, that's for sure.
Who isn't? Nick York fouls the first pitch back from Savali. The count is 0-1. 4-4 game. Cubs and Pirates, one down here in the last of the fifth. Savali deals, and York looks at a ball low and outside. 1-1. And I'm told he did not properly complete the Xfinity read. And, you know, we love the people at Xfinity.
Yeah.
They say all your favorite teams in one place. Xfinity, the pitch. Low and outside.
I'll say this, though. Even with that being said, the Wi-Fi is still booming.
Yeah, always. I mean, you can't read this without having the booming Wi-Fi to help us out. 2-1 the count on the batter, York. Savali delivers. Bouncing ball foul off to the left. 2-2.
As you're reading that, Pat came by right in the back of the booth and said, "You do know, Coop, the Wi-Fi's booming."
Yeah, he's well aware.
Yeah.
Pat spends a lot of his time in front of the screen, downloading information, all those nuggets you hear on the broadcast. Here comes the 2-2. That's up high.
Can't do it if you're not booming.
Nope. But Pat is booming thanks to Xfinity. 3-2 the count on York, with one down here in the bottom of the fifth. Again, a 4-4 game. Savali spins and delivers. Swing and a miss. Strike three as York chased a rising fastball. 2 away.
A good start here to the fifth inning by Savali. A little fly ball to center, and now punch out. A little high, but in pitch that York couldn't quite catch up with. Might have chased one a little up and out of the zone.
Rafael Flores at the plate. Right-handed batter. His first game of the big league. Savali deals. And Flores looks at a slow-moving breaking ball for a strike. 0-1. By the way, strikeouts by Cubs pitchers are brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. As Savali faces home plate, the wind-up and pitch. Flores swings. A one-hopper backhanded beautifully by Horner. Just to the right of second. Gets up, throws to first. In time to get Flores. What a play. That is out number 3. Pirates go down in order here in the fifth. 4-4 game. Cubs in Pittsburgh.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast on the radio since 1921.
4-4 ever since the second inning. And if you're just joining us, if the Cubs win today, they are in the playoffs. They jumped out to a 4-0 lead after a half inning. Swanson now will check his swing. And the pitch outside from Johan Ramirez, and the count now 1-1. But if you're just joining us, the Cubs scored right away. They got a run on a wild pitch. Ian Happ had a 2-run homer to make it 3-0, and then Moises Ballesteros homered to make it 4-0. So after 4 batters had faced Johan Oviedo, the Cubs had 4 runs on the board and have not scored since. Matthew Boyd was not his normal sharp self on the mound, and he struggled, allowing a 3-run homer in the first to Joey Bart and a bases-loaded walk in the second to McCutchen. Here's the bouncer back to the mound, and the throw to first in the dirt, safe as Swanson. On a comebacker, Johan Ramirez fell to his knees, had trouble with the ball, then made a low throw, and Flores could not dig it out. Cubs get a big break. It looked like it was going to be a routine 1-3 putout. But it's one of those days where nothing is really categorized as routine. That'll be E1, and here is Reese McGuire. And he'll poke one foul down the left field line and out of play. McGuire 0 for 2, doing the Cubs catching today. Swanson being held by Flores. McGuire pops it up shallow left. Triolo out, coming in the center fielder Canario to make the catch, and that's out number 1. McGuire flies to center, 1 down. Here's Matt Shaw. Swanson, a very good base runner and an occasional base stealer. Dansby takes his lead at first. Ball game tied at 4, 6th inning. Matt Shaw takes ball 1. We're going to play the attendance game, the Benny's Beverage Depot attendance game. Have we all made our guesses here, Zach?
We have.
Like I said, no need to make guesses again because we've all made our guesses. We'll find out, though, who is the winner here shortly. Sometimes, Zach, you know what it's like. You get so riveted with the action that you can't remember if you made an attendance guess or not.
Yeah, I'm on the edge of my seat, too, Pat. I get it. By the way, pitching changes by opponents, sponsored by Sloan, official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs and leader in smart water and commercial restroom solutions. Visit sloan.com.
Here's the next offering in there for a strike to Matt Shaw. Mel Check is our engineer. He's always on the edge of his seat. Not sure what the exact reason would be.
He said he's short.
Mel's a very funny man. He's probably one of the more senior engineers in the league. Swanson runs the pitch inside, and a bad throw to second. It goes into center field, and Swanson goes to third. That ball must have slipped out of Bart's hand. The catcher, he missed his target by 15 feet at second base. He threw it behind the second baseman, Gonzalez, who couldn't even come close to getting a leather on the ball. And now the Cubs have a man at third with 1 away. And Michael Busch with a chance to drive in this go-ahead run.
Yeah, good jump by Dansby at first. And as you said, Pat, this ball thrown way on the inside of the second base bag and in the center field. So easy stolen base for Dansby.
Runners at first and third as Michael Busch now takes inside for a ball. Shaw getting the walk a minute ago, Ron. Go ahead.
Cubs could use one in flight. Let's see what happens here. In the sixth inning, sponsored by Flight by Yuengling. Next generation of light beer. See if Bushy can do a little damage here.
He's walked twice and struck out today. Plenty of Cub fans here hoping to see the Cubs clinch a playoff spot today. Infield back with one away. The fastball is inside. Okay, now it's 2-0, Ron. What are you thinking?
Well, you're looking for something in her half that you can really do some damage with. Bushy, in yesterday's ball game, the pitch he hit out of the ballpark, hit a bomb against Skeens, was a slider. See if he gets something in her half he can turn on.
Taking all the way, which surprised me. It's a called strike.
Well, that was a fastball in her half. With that stolen base. Stolen bases by the Cubs. We're sponsored by Eturo Tire, Chicago's hometown tire. Find a dealer at eturo.com.
There's a bender for a strike. The count now 3-2. So you got Shaw at first with one away and Swanson, the runner, at third. And let's see if Bush can drive in the go-ahead tally.
I think Shaw will be off and running.
He's not going.
Wow.
And the pitch line toward right. York is there to make the catch. Tagging and scoring is Swanson. Cubs have a 5-4 lead. Sacrifice fly, Michael Bush. His 81st run batted in. And the Cubs are on top by a run here in the sixth inning.
Good at bat for Bushy as he took the pitch away, got a pitch he could handle, and he smokes this ball to right. Hits it with a little topspin, and it's right at York, but York playing deep enough to where it drives into Cubs' fifth run. And 81 driven in now by Michael Bush.
Now let's keep an eye on the runner Shaw at first. Here's a line drive base hit to right by Nico Horner. Stopping at second is Shaw. Nico with his second hit of the day. He is so locked in. Spraying the ball all around and hitting just about everything, Ron, right on the money.
Yeah. He has been right on time with just about every pitch that's been thrown to him. He has been on time.
Don Kelly, the manager for the Pirates, is going to make a pitching change. Pitching changes by the opposition, sponsored by Sloan, the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs and leader in smart water and commercial restroom solutions. Visit.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast on the radio since
Cure. Pham very shallow in left against Happ. Again, Ian batting right-handed, facing Sisk. First pitch. That's going to be outside for ball one.
Very distinctive windup as he comes set and then kicks his leg up. Sidearm left-handed delivery and really steps across his body.
And the 1-0. Happ hits one toward the middle. Base hit past the diving Triolo. A run is going to score. Cubs on top 6-4. Ian Happ clutch, 2 out, run scoring ground ball single to center. Triolo desperately tried to keep the ball on the infield with a headlong dive, missed it by inches. Stopping at second on the play, Horner. Coming in to score on the play, Matt Shaw. Cubs lead 6-4.
Now good at bat for Nico. He gets this pitch up and out over the plate. He just hammers this ball through the infield. Pretty good effort by the shortstop Triolo, but couldn't come up with it. Once got past him, Shaw was going to score easily with 2 outs, and the Cubs take the lead.
For Ian Happ. Again, plenty of Cub fans in attendance here at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. A beautiful late summer day. Cubs trying to make the postseason, which they will with a win. Turner takes a pitch in there for a strike, 0-1.
Well, this situation for Craig Counsell, this is him going for it right now. You got 2 men on and 2 outs, and bringing Turner in to face the left-hander just to see if Turner can do some damage. Cubs get a little separation in this ballgame.
The 0-1 on the way, fouled off to the right out of play. Turner for the year hitting .213, 3 home runs, 16 driven in. Had a game-winning home run to beat Baltimore a few weeks ago at Wrigley. Here's the 0-2. It's a fastball high. 1-2. The Allegheny River flowing out beyond the right and right center field fence. You see various boats sailing across the water underneath the Clementi Bridge. Line drive down the right field line. Fair ball. A run will score. And racing to third on the play is Happ. Justin Turner comes off the bench and delivers, and the Cubs lead 7-4.
Second straight 2-out hit to drive in a run for the Cubs. Ian with a big swing of the bat, driving in a run, and now Turner a pinch hit single. And those are big swings of the bat here in this 6th inning.
Horner scoring on the play. Happ motored all the way to third. It's a 3-run rally, and it's not over yet. Seiya Suzuki at the plate, and he'll take a strike. You can tell how popular Turner is. All of the guys in the dugout immediately got to their feet and waving at him and shouting at him, and very popular guy. Here's a pitch outside, and the count now 1-1. Justin has been there and done that. Played for the Dodgers in many of their postseason glory days. He was an MVP of the World Series. Here's a high fly ball into left center, playable for either Pham or Canario. It's going to be Canario to make the catch to end the inning, but it's a good inning for the Cubs. They score 3 times. RBIs by Bush, Happ, and Turner.
Let's see if we can figure out the following baseball slang term.
Jack Sawinski will lead off the bottom of the 6th inning. Aaron Civale on the mound. Kevin Alcantara comes into play right field for the Cubs, replacing Seiya Suzuki. No word on why Suzuki had to leave. He's been under the weather now for about 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, I think this is just about defensive replacement. He's got his, got some at-bats, got some playing time, and now just sit him back down and get Alcantara out there, who's a very good defensive player.
Sawinski fouls it away. So Justin Turner, I clearly remember the home run that he hit against John Lackey in Game 2 of the National League Championship Series at Dodger Stadium, bottom of the 9th inning, game winner. Check swing, that's no swing. Cubs lead 7-4. And that was the one that really put the Dodgers in the driver's seat. They would win that in 5 games. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Civale gets the strikeout. 1 away, bottom of inning number 6. And Cam Devani, let's scratch that and go to Jared Triolo batting. So Sawinski was batting for Devaney right there. 1 down, Triolo will take a strike. Going to take a look at a little baseball history. This date in baseball history brought to you by villageofbedfordpark.com. Pop fly foul over near the stands. Is it playable? No, it's off the screen. Bush ran over. Again, an extremely limited amount of foul territory space here at PNC Park. Between the bases and the grandstands on either side, I would say 40 feet, maybe. And not much room directly behind the catcher to the backstop screen either. Fastball upstairs. But now's the time to make history for your business in Bedford Park. A lot of things have happened on this date. Now, Harry Carey told me about this. 1941. He was actually a young fan and did not become a Cardinal announcer until 1945. But he remembered the day that Stan Musial made his Major League debut, and he went 2 for 4. It was on this date, September 17, 1941. And Harry told me that his name at that time was Stanley Musial.
Wow,
Stanley Musial. He laughed about it, and he said, quickly we called him just Stan the man. Yeah. Stan was happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes the 3-2, drill toward left center. On the run, Happ makes a nice running catch. Happ took a good angle on that ball and made the running grab in left center. 2 down.
I would think for Stanley Musial, the only time you were called Stanley when you were a kid when you were in trouble.
That's right.
It's a lot like Ronald. Mm-hmm. The only time I've been called Ronald, things never worked out real well for me that day.
Musial, though, made his big league debut and had 2 hits on this date. Ernie Banks made his Major League debut with the Chicago Cubs, 1953 on this date. It was not a real glorious beginning for Mr. Cub. He was 0 for 3, and he made an error in the game. Gaylord Perry of the Giants pitched a no-hitter and beat Bob Gibson on this date in 1968.
The time of that game, about an hour and 40 minutes.
It was fast. It was a night game, and then, believe it or not, the next game was a day game. The very next afternoon, Ray Washburn pitches a no-hitter against the Giants.
Oh, wow.
So 2 no-hitters in less than 24 hours in the same series. The 1-2 to Nick Gonzalez. Low for a ball. Here's one note on one of your former... Were you a teammate of Fernando Valenzuela, or just...
No.
You knew him when you were there?
No, when I was there, yeah.
Yeah, he played before you did. But he set the National League rookie mark in 1981 with his 8th shutout of the year. A rookie. Still learning the whole deal.
But think of that. He had 8 shutouts. That means he threw at least 8 complete games.
That you took arithmetic in school, didn't you? Here is a ground ball to third. Low throw to first by Shaw. It gets by Bush, and down to second safely goes Nick Gonzalez. Probably going to be a hit and an error, I would think.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Tough play for Shaw. Comes in, catches his shortstop, a little bit of a low throw, and it's on the forehand side for Bushy, and it's one of those plays where, it's a tough pick on that in-between hop, and this ball hits and kind of checks up on Mike and goes over the top of his glove, and Gonzalez gets to second base, so it will be a hit and an error.
Nick Gonzalez, his second knock of the day. Tommy Pham hits a ground ball to short, fielded by Swanson, over to first in time to end the inning. Pirates don't score. We go to the 7th inning. Cubs 7, Pittsburgh 4. This is The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Cubs Talk with Spiegel and Holmes.
Great moments.
Is their new pitcher, Pete Crow Armstrong, at the plate. Pete 1 for 3 with a double. He swings and fouls it back. Didn't get cheated on that cut.
Pete, 1 home run away. I know we've mentioned this. 1 home run away from being the second all-time 30-30 guy for the Cubs. You'd love to see him get that right away and get that out of the way.
Here's a swing and a foul off to the left out of play. York now is playing third base for the Pirates. Nick York. He's got an E at the end of the name York. Going to confirm with Zach that it's not pronounced Yorkie. Pete Crow Armstrong with a count of 1-2. And the pitch by the right-hander. It's lifted foul off to the left out of play. Now the scoreboard still has Evan Sisk, the left-hander, in the game.
Now I can promise you this. That's not him.
I'm an experienced broadcaster, Ron. Sisk was a left-hander, and the guy on the mound is right-handed.
No.
So pretty impressive powers of deduction, weren't those?
Top of your game today. Playoff ready.
Swing and a miss, sort of. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's going to be out number 1. For Armstrong is retired. Now they've got Dowry Moretta up there. Thank you.
Yeah. Hardest working player of the game brought to you by Bosch Power Tools. The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch. And, boy, it just sounds like Pat Hughes is the hardest working player of the game today. So we'll go with powers of deduction working here in Pittsburgh.
Swanson the batter. Dansby has singled and reached on an error. All opposing pitching changes. Those are sponsored as well as Dansby takes inside. Pitching changes by the opposition, sponsored by Sloan, the official water efficiency partner of the Chicago Cubs and leader in smart water and commercial restroom solutions. Visit sloan.com. Now the pitch to Swanson. Dansby will take a strike. Cubs leading 7-4 in the 7th inning.
And we're coming to you live all season long from the Invesco QQQ broadcast booth, proud ETF partner of the Chicago Cubs.
And the 2-1, low and outside. A couple of other baseball history notes. Still, I think this is one of the most amazing feats of a pitcher in baseball history. 1996, in the thin air of Denver, Dodger Hideo Nomo hits the Rockies 9-0. He did walk 4, but he struck out 8 and pitched a complete game, no-hitter, when at that time, Ron, the average score was about 8-7.
Yeah, it's
every day.
Absolutely amazing.
It's almost like you read about it and you would have almost had to have been there to see it to fully believe it, right?
Yep, absolutely. Nomo, great teammate as Dansby walks, but a great teammate.
Swanson gets the base on balls. I believe it is about time for us to take a station break for station ID, if I heard that properly in my headset. Reese McGuire, the batter. And the pitch to him is high. We're going to pause 12 seconds for station identification. This is The Score and the Southwest Airlines Cubs Radio Network.
Cubs Talk in the morning on the Mully and Haw Show, 5:30 to 10 on 670 The Score, WSCR.
A little looper, shallow right center. That ball is going to drop in there for a base hit. Stopping at second is Swanson, a single for Reese McGuire. That extra 2 seconds was very refreshing for me. You too, Ron?
Yeah, I feel way better now.
Runners at first and second with 1 away, and the batter, Matt Shaw.
Matty today has walked twice and scored a run. Scored a run last inning in the 6th. Cubs put up a 3 spot in that 6th inning to give the Cubs the lead 7-4.
Shaw waiting for Moretta. 2 men on, the pitch, swing and a miss. Rangers superstar Nolan Ryan on this date in 1993 struck out Angel catcher Greg Myers. It was his last career strikeout, number 5,714. That's not going to be toppling at any time soon, I don't think.
So what is the number? 5,000 what?
5,714. And I like the fact that it's 714. That was the number of home runs Babe Ruth hit. Yeah. It's almost like the baseball gods are winking at everyone with Nolan Ryan getting that exact number. 5714, and Babe hit 714.
Well, and now for years, what's the big strikeout number? 3,000 strikeouts for a pitcher, and that's kind of one of them numbers that has always been kind of equated to the Hall of Fame, right?
I'll say yes. Here's a pitch hit in the air to left center, pretty well hit. Back goes Canario. Canario makes a great running backhand catch. The Cubs runners are going to be doubled up at first. McGuire gets doubled up. What a play by Canario. He ran a long way to make that catch. The Cub runners both thought it was going to be over his head. When he caught it, it was an easy double play. Score that one 8-6-3.
Let's see if you can figure out the following baseball slang.
Men on, the Pirates have stranded 8. It's one of those games, Ron, where the Cubs are just focused on winning the game, no matter what it looks like or how long it takes or what it felt like to be playing it. You're just trying to get a win and celebrate because you're going into the playoffs.
Yeah, you just win. That's at the end of the day. Don't confuse it at all. Just win. You're in the playoffs, and then you move on to the next thing. But it'll be a celebration today of getting back to the playoffs for the Cubs.
McCutchen checks his swing. The count 3-1. Here's the windup now by Aaron Savali. The right-hander brings it, and that's going to be in there for a called strike 2. And the next offering, swing and a foul back. Just a couple of more notes here on baseball history. It's just one of those days where there's a lot of interesting things. Willie Wilson of Kansas City hit a season record 5th inside the park home run on this date in 1979.
Wow.
Here's the next pitch, swinging a foul back. You can go years without seeing an inside the park homer. He hit 5 in 1 year.
Unreal. Willie Wilson, one of the all-time great athletes to ever play our game. And, I've got to know Willie through the years very well through Cubs fantasy camp. What a great guy he is, too.
Big part of those good teams they had. Yeah. George Brett, Hal McRae, Brett Saberhagen.
Played for the Cubs for, 3 years, I think, for the Cubs?
That sounds about right. Mm-hmm. Here comes the 3-2 to McCutchen. Strike 3 called. Big curveball got him. It buckled his knees, and that's going to be out number 1.
That inside curveball that gets called nowadays is up and in curveball. Little hook starts out up and in. You're right, it buckles him a little bit and catches that inside corner for strike 3.
One final note about Ernie Banks. It's an interesting thing that it would even be something they would keep a record of as Joey Bart takes a strike. I mentioned earlier this was the date in 1953, September 17, that Ernie played his first big league game. Here's a swing and a foul back and out of play. And he would go on, Ron, to set the all-time record for the most consecutive games at the start of a career. He played 424 games, which is well over 2 seasons, almost 3, before he missed a single game.
How about that?
Fastball is up and in. Bart backs away. His helmet pops off his head. But thanks to Village of Bedford Park, we love talking baseball history, and this date brought to you by villageofbedfordpark.com. Now's the time to make history for your business in Bedford Park.
13,488. 1, 3, 4, 8, 8.
Next offering fouled away by Joey Bart. We just got the attendance figure at PNC Park for this day game. 13,488. We'll find out who was the winner in our game a bit later on. Here's the 1-2, and it hits him. Off-speed pitch inside. The batter made no attempt to avoid being hit at all. But Bart will get his base at first. They don't call that very often.
No, they don't. No, that's just a breaking ball, and it stays inside, and Bart just turns and holds his ground with that left arm, and it clips him in his arm.
There is a seldom enforced rule that says a batter really does have to make some effort to avoid being hit. You can't just stand there and try to let it hit you.
Well, where they've enforced that on rare occasion is, boy, there for a while guys are going with a lot of armor all up and down their front arm, and so then they were leaning into balls and getting hit purposely, and so then you started seeing that call a little bit, but very seldom do you see that called now. They've made some changes to the equipment that you're allowed to wear at home plate.
O'Neill Cruz, big left-handed batter, pulls one foul past first. Again, the Cubs hoping to win and clinch a playoff spot today. And if they win, they don't have to worry about any other team winning any other games. The Cubs win, they're in. Here's the 0-1. Low for a ball. I feel very lucky, Ron. This is going to be the 10th different season as a Cubs announcer in 30 years. 10th time the Cubs will be in the postseason, assuming that they will this year, and I'm pretty confident they will be. Just a matter of exactly when they clinch.
That could be just a couple innings from now. Put it this way, the champagne is on ice, just in case. Don't want to get a little ahead of ourselves, but certainly don't want warm champagne, so I'm sure it's on ice.
7-4 Cubs, 7th inning. O'Neill reaches for one and pokes it foul down the left field line, out of play. A reminder, Ron, we've talked about the Cameo Company, and you and I have both done some work with them. Great people. You and I are available for videos for the public. Go to Cameo.com, and it's an ingenious setup where the public, for a small fee, they enter the information, and then they connect with you, and they tell you that my sister is graduating. Here's the ground ball to second. Horner will go to second. They get one, and that's all. So Canario's safe at first. 2 down. Cubs lead 7-4, but there might be somebody getting married in your family, or somebody graduating, or somebody retiring after a long career, and you can hire Ronnie and me and other people by going to cameo.com, and we will then congratulate your relative or your brother or your mom or whatever it is. I've had so much fun doing that, and I know now you are part of it too. So go to cameo.com. Now, Zach, we have to get you in there too. Here's a swing and a foul back. Melchek said he'd be happy to be available as well.
Yeah. Mel said he's hungry like the wolf. He's ready.
You know, he knows all about Duran Duran and all of their hit songs.
Yeah.
Nick York. Again, that E on the back of York is just making me nervous. I haven't called him Nick Yorkie yet, but well, I guess I have right there.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of time. Here's a curveball down low. Now I know that a Yorkie is a type of dog, Zach.
Little guy, little dog. Yeah.
You don't have to get upset about it. We're just talking.
It's just,
Here's the pitch to York, and it's inside for a ball. But they're little guys.
Yeah, little dogs. They kind of put them on your shoulder and just hang out. Yeah, they're little dudes.
Love dogs. Might have to look into getting a Yorkie just because I like the name. Here's a swing and a miss.
Well, now you know how to spell it.
I do. I think the dog Yorkie is different than Y-O-R-K-E. I want to say there's either a Y in there or an I in there.
Okay.
Zach, I thought for some reason you'd be helping me with this.
Well, York, as it's spelled here, Y-O-R-K-E, is not a dog.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah. I'll tell you in a second.
Well, what is it then?
Gee, thanks, Zach. That's great.
York swings and fouls it back.
So the Google machine lets me know that the name...
go away, but not so much.
The name York, Y-O-R-K-E, has origins in England and means, quote, wild boar settlement.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think about when I think of a Yorkie.
Wild boar settlement?
You heard it.
Here's a swing and a foul off to the right, out of play, as in B-O-A-R?
Yes.
So those are, aren't they part of the pig family?
Yeah.
Correct.
Boar, yeah.
The Yorkie that you were talking about is spelled Y-O-R-K-I-E, and it's short for Yorkshire Terrier.
That's what it is.
Of course.
Here's a fly ball to shallow right. Drifting in is Alcantara. Kevin Alcantara makes the catch, and that ends the inning.
Thank
Pirates
goodness.
do not score. No runs. No hits. Lots of Yorkies. And
take a hack at guessing which baseball
are 2 innings away from that run. It's 7-4 Cubs batting in the top of the 8th inning. Michael Busch leads it off, swings and misses in the count 0-2. Busch has been on twice with a couple of walks. He drove in a run with a 6th inning sac fly. He's had a big role in the entire series, homering last night, for example, to start the game against Paul Skeens. And his homer began the scoring on Monday night's game against Braxton Ashcraft. Here's the pitch on the way to Michael. He lays off some high heat. See how we did in the Benny's Beverage Depot attendance game. If you can't find it at Benny's, it's probably not worth drinking. Looks like I was a little bit closer today in the Benny's Beverage Depot attendance game. Breaking ball is low and outside for a ball. The actual figure, 13-4-8-8. A lot of Cub fans, and they're ready to celebrate as well. And the 2-2. Pulled on the ground, foul.
And we had a shot in our monitor in between innings of Wrigley Field. And I believe, we didn't get a close-up, but I believe a lot of the Cubs employees that are working around the ballpark and in the office are down on the field watching on the big screen. And I think they're ready to do a little celebrating, too.
High fly ball, deep right center off the bat of Busch. Going back is the center fielder Canario, and he makes the catch on the track. And that's going to be out number 1. I thought that ball might leave the yard when he first hit it. O'Neill cruising back to make the catch. O'Neill cruised.
Yeah, that was close. When it left the bat, I thought it might have a chance, especially in that right center field area, but just didn't quite get enough of it.
O'Neill Cruz now in center. Nico Horner the batter. And look out, Nico takes up and in. Nico, 2 more hits today. He's had 2 hits in every game of the series. He is 6 for 13. And he's hit safely in 12 in a row. And that batting average of his is up to .303. So he's closing in on Trey Turner of the Phillies, .305. Let's see if he can get a base hit here and get even closer.
Absolutely. Meat of the order is presented by Chef IQ Sense. Never under overcook your food again. Purchase now at chefiq.com.
And now the stretch and the pitch to Nico, and it's inside for a ball.
Well, even his takes, that inside breaking ball, he is seeing the ball really, really well. And I mean, every time he takes a swing, he's putting the barrel right on the baseball, right on the sweet spot.
Nico will take up and in. That's ball 4. He gets on base with 1 away in the 8th inning. Cubs on top 7-4. Please stay tuned for the toast of the game. That'll be named by Ron Coomer and sponsored by Benny's Beverage Depot. If you can't find it at Benny's, you should just drop to your knees and sob uncontrollably.
I'm sure they'd prefer not in their establishment.
Yeah, outside would be better.
There you go, that'd be better. Yeah.
Ian Happ takes outside for a ball. It's 1-0.
Ian Happ is a candidate for the Toast of the Game ball player. He homered in the first 2-run bomb and singled in the 6th to drive in a run. So he's got 3 RBIs in today's ball game and a couple hits.
He shows bunt, and it's outside. Cubs out and the Pirates both with 9 hits. Each team has left 9 men on. Cubs looking for their 88th win, trying to climb 24 games above 500, which would be a new season high. That would be a nice day to clinch a playoff spot. Cubs still have 10 ball games to go. Now the 2-1 to Ian Happ. And he'll look at a ball just outside. 3-1.
Yep. Justin Turner on deck. He is now the DH in the ball game, and designated hitter sponsored by Fireplace and Chimney Authority. Book now, burn later, skip the rush.
The 3-1 pitch on the way to Ian Happ. Fouled away. Good rip. Zach Zaidman will have the Verizon postgame show for you. It could be a very special edition of the Verizon postgame show today, with the Cubs clinching, appearing more and more imminent, leading by 3 here in the 8th inning. And the 3-2, it's low and inside for ball 4. And Happ gets the walk. And Ron, you and I are going to stay right with Zach for a period of time. We're just going to kind of stay loose, and we're going to be having reports and interviews from the Cubs clubhouse as well. Zach is coordinating all that. So if anything goes wrong, I'm just kidding. We're all in this together. Almost part of our family here, Ron. He's been in every game of the series. You understand he owns a Yorkie.
Oh, there you go. With an E.
Turner with 2 men on batting here in the 8th inning. Cubs trying to break the game wide open, leading by 3. We'll keep you updated. They still have Moretta's picture up on the scoreboard here at PNC. And the pitch to Justin Turner is outside. And now the count 2-1.
Tough play of the game today. That's sponsored by Loyola Medicine. Loyola Medicine defines tough. Maybe it's the scoreboard guy.
Here's a swing and a base hit to left. Ground ball into left field. Rounding third. Heading home is Horner. He will score. Cubs lead 8-4. Justin Turner delivers an RBI single. Stopping at second is Ian Happ. And the Cubs equaling their largest lead of the day, 8-4.
Yeah, and a big swing of the bat, and, at the end of the day, you didn't want to have to rely on another team to do anything for you. Just go out and win the ball game, sweep this series. Cubs are in line to do that here in the 8th inning, scoring another run, and now, as you said, Pat, they got a 4-run lead.
Turner with the RBI, 2 men on, still only 1 away. Kevin Alcantara, the batter, and he'll take low and away, almost a wild pitch. Alcantara replaced Suzuki in the outfield. Suzuki playing for the first time in about 5 or 6 days. Craig Counsell decided that a couple of hours, 6 or 7 innings, that was enough for Seiya today. Still kind of getting his legs underneath him after the illness. Kevin Alcantara with a count of 2-0. Let's see if the youngster gets something to hit here. The pitch by Nicholas is going to be in there for a strike, 2-1. Happ away from second. Turner away from first. And Alcantara takes a nice swing, but comes up empty in the count, 2-2.
A little high fastball up and away. Catch of the game. It's sponsored by Catch Des Moines. Discover the weekend getaway in Des Moines where only the S's are silent. Find all the fun at catchdesmoines.com.
2-2 from Nicholas. Strike 3 called. A breaking ball got him. Second out in the inning. Cubs 8, Pirates 4. And the batter, Pete Crow Armstrong.
A couple inside sliders in her third, and Contra just didn't pick the ball up early enough to where he could make a pass at that ball and took strike 3.
Alcantara waiting, or rather Alcantara gone, and Pete Crow Armstrong waiting, and he'll take a curveball in there for a called strike. They're very slow operating the count on the scoreboard right now.
To say nothing for the pitcher.
Here's a drive toward left center. On the run is Canario going back and making the catch. That's O'Neill Cruz in center. He covers a lot of ground with those long strides, and he made a nice catch there. Cubs get 1, leave 2. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Cubs 8, Pirates 4. This is the...
Take a hack at guessing which baseball player or
Rafael Flores. Zach, go ahead.
Later on this afternoon, the Diamondbacks are hosting the Giants.
Flores swings and misses, 1-1.
And the Padres are in New York to play the Mets. The Cubs currently have a 5-game lead over San Diego for the top wildcard spot in the National League.
Did you say you have a New Yorkie? Is that what I heard you say?
I did not, but
okay.
Yeah, that's York without an E at the end, Pat. And the Out-of-Town Scoreboard is sponsored by Club Citgo. Download the Club Citgo app now and instantly save 23 cents per gallon on your first fill-up.
Flores waits for Pomeranz. Here comes the 1-2. A smash foul past third.
Now, one thing, this game, a lot of Cub fans won't forget this game if it ends up the score the way it is, but also for Flores, he will not forget this. He got his first major league hit in the second at-bat here earlier today. A double to left center field.
He takes a hook low and inside. The count now 2-2. Cubs trying to sweep all three in this series. Trying to beat the Pirates for the 10th time in their 13-game season package. Fouled at the plate. Flores fouled that one right down off of his foot, walking off a little pain. That's probably something you don't miss about playing big league ball, Ron. The fouls off your feet.
Not at all. Yeah. Yeah, you really don't. You know, that is one of those getting jammed real bad and about breaking your thumb. Yeah, that's another one you really don't miss. Getting hit by a pitch. No. Yeah, I could do without all those and very happily not do that.
Flores waits for the 2-2 from Pomeranz. A swing and a pop-up foul coming back near our booth. We don't get many foul balls up
as
here.
Close as I've ever seen one come to us.
Ball bounced in an empty seat right down below us. Here comes the 2-2. Check swing, no swing. 3-2.
Tell you what, Flores looks like a pretty good hitter. He's one of those. Looking at his numbers this year, and 3 different cities he played in, 2 AAA and 1 AA city, but he is a pretty good minor league career.
Flores takes ball 4, and the Pirates have a man on here to start the bottom of the 8th inning. Jack Sawinski, Chicagoland native, ready to step in. Sawinski, 3 home runs for the year. And the pitch on the way to Jack is taken up and in, ball 1. The next pitch taken for a strike. Not sure exactly when we will be leaving Pittsburgh tonight. The Cubs plan to do some celebrating before departing. Here is a swing and a miss. The count 1-2. We can tell you that tomorrow night's game is at 6:15 Central Time between the Cubs and the Reds at the Great American Ballpark. There's a ball outside, and the count 1-2.
We'll be in Cincinnati before 5:40's pregame tomorrow. Other than that, can't really help you out much more than that.
Here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Pretty good fastball by Drew Pomeranz.
Good gas right at the top of the zone for strike 3.
1 down, back to the top of the order for Jared Triolo. Triolo has flied out, singled, struck out, and flied out again. Triolo takes ball 1, 1-0, last of the 8th inning. Bush is holding the runner at first. That's Flores. And the pitch line toward left center. There's a base hit. Over to cut it off is Happ. And holding at second on the play, Flores. Base hit for Triolo. And the Pirates making a little noise here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Well, 2 men on. They did it in game 1 of this series. Cubs are up 4-1. And they made a comeback and got the tying run to the plate in that game. Now you just want to try to get this inning over with. 1 out, see if Pomeranz can get him a ground ball. Gonzalez does run pretty well.
Gonzalez has flied out, been hit by a pitch, and singled twice. He swings and misses. Gonzalez, one of their better offensive players, I would say, Ron. He's certainly one of the top 3 or 4.
Yeah, hitting 275. He's a solid player. Is very much so. Very good, solid, big league player.
Down low for a ball to Gonzalez.
And that's what this Pittsburgh group is trying to figure out. Who do they got that they can build around and keep, and then what do they need? You know, you get a couple older guys on their ball club, McCutcheon being one.
Here's a pitch popped up shallow right down the line. Racing in is Alcantara to make the catch. The long-legged right fielder with red shoes. Making a long running effort before grabbing that fly ball. 2 down in the inning, and the batter, Tommy Pham.
Now, that's not an easy play at all. Alcantara goes a long way to go get this ball, and he can really turn on the jets when he needs to. He can run really well. He makes that play look fairly easy.
Pham nothing for 3 with a walk today. He did score a run after his base on balls way back in the first. 2 outs, 2 on. Pomeranz pumps a fastball in there for a strike. $13,488 are here today. This ball misses low and inside, 1-1. It would appear that some of the fans on the Pirates side have headed for the exits.
Still a lot of Cub fans in behind the dugout wanting to celebrate with their ball club.
Absolutely. Here's the 1-1 outside for a ball. This is one of the oldest rivals that the Cubs have, the Pirates. 1887, the first time these two teams played. Bouncing ball foul past third. Pirates are in a long stretch of struggling, and you wonder how long it's going to last. Pirates have suffered through a lot of losing seasons. This is going to be 7 straight losing campaigns. And I want to say something like 25 of the last 30. I wrote it down in game 1. I'm looking for my notes now.
31, something like that, yep.
There's the bouncer to the hole at short, picked by Swanson. Good play. Throws to first to get him. The Pirates do not score. We go to 9th inning. It's the Cubs 8 and the Pirates 4. This is the score.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast on the radio.
Cubs 8, Pirates 4, ninth inning. If the Cubs win, they are in the playoffs. And the 0-1. Swanson swings and fouls it back. Here's the note I was looking for. The Pirates' futility, really frustrating. You wouldn't really wish this on anyone. They are going to have a losing season for the 29th time in the last 33 years.
Oof.
It's too many.
Yep.
Swanson pulls a chopper foul. It's a very tough business. I mean, you don't feel sorry for other teams. They wouldn't feel sorry for you if it was reversed. But I'm not sure that's healthy for the game when a team is down that much for that long of a period of time. Dansby swings and misses strike 3, and that's out number 1.
Now they just got to get back committed to winning and trying to win. This is such a great sports town. Great, incredible facility here in Pittsburgh. It's a beautiful ballpark.
It really is.
And as we talk to the people around here that we've been friends with for a long time, work here at the park, when they win, they come out. They support the team.
Pop up left side. It's going to be caught by York. And that's out number 2. McGuire pops out. Right now the Cubs in the dugout. Everyone kind of calm, but they are ready to jump up and down and celebrate and have some fun. Blow off a little steam.
Yeah. I saw a shot of the Cubs clubhouse, and the plastic is up, the champagne and the beer is on ice, and they are ready to celebrate here in Pittsburgh. And 3 more outs when the Cubs take the field for the bottom of the 9th.
Matt Shaw batting. Shaw has walked, grounded out, walked again, and hit into a double play. So he's 0 for 2. Let's see if he can get himself a knock before the game ends. That pitch is in there for a strike, 1-1. Please stay tuned. We will have an extended post-game show.
I think there's somebody down behind there by our... Might be Mel Check gave somebody a microphone down there, and sounds like he's been celebrating a little earlier than the Cubs have.
How can you tell, Ron?
It's just a lucky guess.
2 balls and a strike. Here's the pitch fouled away, 2-2.
He got a head start, I think, in inning number 1.
So he's ready for a large evening, it sounds like.
No, he's there. Yeah, he's there. Yeah, attaboy. Up now.
2-2 pitch taken high for a ball, 3-2.
Mel, you need to get your microphones a little more strategic.
What's that? I couldn't make out those last few words you said there.
And Mel, he needs to get the microphones and field mics a little more strategic.
Here comes the 2-2. Was there something said that I missed? I was just locked into this play-by-play. You know the way that goes.
I totally understand, and that's why you're in the Hall of Fame.
Plus, I was looking for a Yorkie. 3-2 on Matt Shaw. Again, Zach is going to be the executive producer of this post-game show today. Ground ball to short, fielded by Triolo, over to first in time. Cubs are 3 outs away from a celebration. If they win, they are in the playoffs. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Cubs 8.
Great moments in baseball have been broadcast.
Last time the Cubs were in the postseason, 2020. Before that, they were in several years in a row. Fly ball to center. Should be playable for Crow Armstrong. It is. And that's out number one. Starting in 2015, the Cubs were in the playoffs 4 straight years, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Of course, the highlight of that was the 2016 World Series championship, but they were in the NLCS 3 years in a row, starting in 2015. But it all starts with qualifying, which the Cubs are hoping to do here in the next few minutes. Joey Bart will take ball 1 inside. Inside ball 2. Who do you like for the toast of the game, Rod?
Well, we got some options in this ball game today. But how about just the Cubs ball club? They are going into this year really, wanting to get back to playoff baseball. And here in 2 outs, they're going to be back in playoff baseball. So toast of the game ball player today will be the Cubs ball club of 2025.
I like that.
Yep. And hopefully this season still has a lot of baseball left in it.
Bart hits a fly ball to center. Crow Armstrong's got it. And the Cubs are 1 out away from being in the postseason. And now I'm looking at the fans behind the Cubs first base dugout, all wearing Cubby blue, standing, cheering, clapping, and you know they are excited. And all of the Cubs are up on the front step, up on the railing in the first base dugout area, ready to run out onto the field and begin what will be a celebration of probably several hours. Here's the 1-0 pitch outside an O'Neill Cruz. Several hours initially. The Cubs are hoping the celebration goes really for several weeks.
Till the 1st of November would be just about right.
Inside ball 2. 2-0 on Cruz. I see some fans literally jumping up and down in anticipation. There is a strike, and the count now 3-1. And now the next offering. Swing and a miss. Foul tipped, actually. 3-2 on O'Neill Cruz.
Good breaking ball from Rogers. Cubs 1 strike away from 2025 postseason baseball.
Now the 3-2 pitch. On the way. Swing and a foul back. Cruz just did make contact. You can hear the fans yelling, "Let's go Cubs." Cub fans have taken over PNC Park for the moment. And the 3-2. Fly ball to left. This is going to do it. Ian Happ is there, and the Cubs are in the playoffs. The Cubs are going to be a postseason team here in 2025, and the celebration will begin. It's kind of subdued at the moment. Players on the field congratulating one another. The other Cubs kind of respectful of the guys in the game right now, but now the Cubs start coming out of the dugout. Manager Craig Counsell and his staff and all of the ball players congratulating one another. This is always the goal, Ron, when you start the year way back in spring training, to be successful enough to extend your season beyond game 162.
That is exactly right. And the whole thing is what the final goal is. The final goal is to win a World Series. This is the first step in that goal. And Cubs celebrating, but they understand there's still a lot to get done. So this will be a celebration, but as you said, a touch on the subdued side because they know they've got a lot more to play for here coming up.
And that makes a lot of sense to me. This is just step number one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Getting in the postseason, in the door, and being on the dance floor, if you will.
It is, excuse me, Pat, but it's great for the young guys and some of the veterans who have never played in the playoffs, have never made it there. But there are some guys in that group that have won World Series, that understand this is the very first step of what you hope is a long period of time here in this next month of baseball.
And you don't ever take it for granted.
Yep.
You don't ever assume that you're going to be in there automatically every year.